All right, so far the only thing that we require is to detect how many tags are in there, in the post. So what I will do is I'm going to say, wait a minute, there's a function down here which says get tag, is it check tags or something? Okay, so we could repurpose this one because unfortunately what it's doing here is returning a string that is formatted to allow links, but that's not really what we want. So what I want in here is to do a preg match to match all the text that is required. Actually, what I'll do, let me just duplicate this function at this point, copy that. So I want a version of this function that instead of returning a string actually returns an array if any tags are found. So at this point we will supply it with some text, and then let's start from here. So I'll say tags is equal to, so we're going to give this one an empty array to begin with. Okay, so the words are exploded from the text, that's fine. If it's an array and so on. At the very end we have to return tags still, return tags. I think we don't need this part here, just return the tags. And then we also, now the thing is we don't have to check if, but actually we do need to check if these guys exist, so we'll leave this as it is. So for each word as word, so one word at a time, and then we're checking if it's eligible to be a tag, and then checking if the user exists. So all these else statements are pointless because we will ignore anything that doesn't meet our criteria. So let's remove those else statements. And this is the part right there. So if it is a row, which means the user actually exists, so what we're going to do is add the user ID of this tag here. Actually, maybe what we do here, so that we can easily save those tags to, so what I will do is return them here. So if is array, where is the tag? That's the word right there. So what I would do is I will get, we don't actually need this, and we don't need that. So what I will say instead is tags is equal to word. So we are simply adding whatever results we find. Okay, so at this point we are removing the tag as well, the @ symbol there. So I think that's okay. We can leave that as it is. And there we go. So tags. So we're adding the tags one by one to this array that is empty at the top, and then finally we can return it when everything is done after this loop is complete. Okay, so that I think works fine. So instead of check tags here, we're just going to say get tags, like so. So let me copy that, save, and let's go to not check notifications, but what is our function name? Wait, what was the other one? Check notifications, right? Ooh. For a moment I thought there was a repeated function there. Okay, so at this moment we want to get our tags back. So we're going to say tags is equal to get tags, and the text here is my post and the post itself. like that. Okay, so we get our tags in there, and then we do a for each loop here. So at this point, we are already sure that these tags are of people that actually exist in our database. So I'll just say tags as tagged user there. Okay, so what I'm trying to avoid here is making too many functions to do this, because sometimes we will need the tags themselves, and sometimes we will need the user ID of those tags. So anyway, what we will do is this: instead of editing the function to make it more funky, or clunky is the right word, let me simply retrieve the information I need here from the tag. So tags as tag. So that's a single tag right there. So what we will do at this point is to retrieve the tag from the user, because in our table we have the tags right there. So what it's returning is a group of these. So we can easily check who that is. So as a result, I will say let's get the DB, since the DB is already there. I could use the post, but it gets the user, it uses the user ID, so never mind. I'll just do this. SQL is equal to select all from users, where, what do we call this? It's tag name, where tag underscore name is equal to our nice tag there, and limit 1. So let's read again here. This time we're going to say tagged user. Let's go to db read SQL. Okay, so at that point, if is array, we check again just to be sure. But at this point, we know it's going to be an array because we only return tags that actually exist. But just for the heck of it, let's put it there. Okay, so if it is an array, my post, so the tagged user, finally we can add something there, and then we use user ID like that. So the user ID of the tagged person right there, but then my post is returned as an array, just like we did there. We need to do it here as well. Now this one I had copied from that side, so I just need to make sure that it's tagged user I am pasting there. Then let me put a 0. So this is exactly as what I did there, but I'm just doing it inline there. Okay, so this should suffice so far. So tagging people, we tag them. And then since we have this function here that returns the tags, so I can just copy this get tags, come back to post here where we are posting, so that right after we insert into the database, we can add tagged users. Actually, this would be too late. What I could do is just add it right there. So what I will do is say at this point we're just going to override what already exists. So where are we assigning the post itself? Post is equal to empty string, and then that's when we are assigning it. Okay, so at this point we can add anyone who was tagged. Add tagged users. So we're just going to drop that function right there. Now the text is post, so let me just put that one there. So get tags, so we're going to have an array of those people that we are tagged. Now, remember that it says, actually what I need to do is assign it first and say tags is equal to empty string, like so, just so that we don't get an error in case there were no tags that were returned. So this could return an empty array. So what I will ask for is actually, to avoid problems, let me set this to an empty array. And then because I know it's going to return an empty array if there are no tags, but if there are, it will return an array with the tag names. So what I will do finally here is to say tags is equal to implode. So we want to implode that array using the glue. What glue is that? Actually, scratch that. Let's use JSON. So let's say JSON encode. So what JSON encode does is to convert an array into a string. So JSON encode tags. Then let me copy this. So what I've done here ensures that regardless of the result here, I would still have this variable in a good format that I can actually use to put in my database. So I'll say tags here and then go back here and duplicate one of these, extend, and then replace with tags. So let me just confirm that in posts, in the posts table, we do indeed have a tags column. Okay, great. So let's give it a spin. So far we've just been coding and coding, so very likely that there are some errors. So let's check those errors. Now at this point, we're not checking which tags already exist in here, and so just so we can update them. Oh, and also I forgot here, I have to call this function tag with the post ID. So right here, right after everything, notify those that were tagged. And that's all we need to do. Tag post ID. Okay, so that should suffice. So let me come back here and let's give it a spin. Now I want to tag Mary again. So I'll say Mary. I'm tagging you. And hit post. Boom. So Mary, I'm tagging you right there. So let's see what has happened and what has not happened. So if we go down here and browse, so there's @Mary, I'm tagging you. So this is a valid post that has been posted, but let's look at our tags. And as you can see here, it's showing that there's a tag from Mary. That's actually different than I thought. So @Mary, where did the @ come from? That's interesting. Oh, that's because I told it to get tags from there. Wait a minute. Let's go down here to get tags, check tags, get tags. It's supposed to trim the tag out here, but doesn't seem like it is. Anyway, as long as it's working, that should be good enough. So let's go to notifications and see if we have anything new here. And is this new? Comment. Okay. All right, so it doesn't seem like it is working because this one is the activities comment. That was the last one. So this is ID number 18, so we should take note of that. So let's see why this didn't happen. So I'm guessing it has something to do with the @ symbol there. Let's go to the function tag. Where is that? Because that's the one that writes the notifications. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so tag name is equal to tag get tags. So my issue here is that get tags is returning tag names with the tag names that have the @ symbol, which is not supposed to do. So here trim. Okay, so at this point it looks like, right, it looks like it's looking to trim this whole word as it is and not just the @ symbol. So let me do this for a second. Let me remove those commas there. Let's trim we'll trim that. So let me not escape it at this point. Let me just do this, do that. So I'm going to trim the comma and the full stop as well, and then I'm just going to escape it at the end here. So let me remove that, because escape adds a few more characters depending on the situation. So tag name is equal to trim, so we remove the @ symbol, we remove any commas, and then finally we remove any full stops there. So let me copy this very thing and put it on here as well, since it seems to have a problem. Now this is the check tags version. So let's try again. So Mary, I'm tagging you again. Post. Okay, so now we've lost everything completely. Let's come back here and see if we have a new entry, and we don't. So what is going on here? Oh, I see what's happening here. My bad. So at this point, once we trim the tag name from Word, let me use Word here on both these. Only on the final one do I do that. Okay, so I think that should work. Back here, paste. Alrighty then, let's try again and again. So I'll just say Mary again, again, and hit post. All right, so now Mary without the @ symbol there. Okay. All right, so let's go back to get tags here. Let's add the symbol back right here. I'll just put @ there, just so that let me go back, read, and we have our @ symbol back. Okay, good. So it's still working fine, but at this point we should have had another notification here. So we have one here, 19, and it's a tag, and this is the ID of the content and the ID owner. So it seems so far things have worked well. So what we need to do is go to Mary's profile and see if there's a new notification there. Okay, so Mary has been tagged. Goodie. Now let's log out and let's go to Mary, and I will add my password here. Okay, so let's go to our notifications. So here is where the problem is. So Mary again and again, so that's our notification. So there is a notification here. So let's see what happens when we click on it. It actually takes us to the correct location. But let's go back here and see what went wrong with our notification. Now it's the wording here that is bad, because the content owner is the one who was tagged here, which is why it says your, whatever that is. So let us correct that in the notification.php file.